Yo, good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Elephant Show. My name is Jesse Stanton, and this is my beautiful co-host, Chris James.
Chris James.
Chris James. How you doing,
Good to see
buddy?
everyone here.
This morning?
Phenomenal, man. I can't complain. I'm very grateful for, just to be breathing today, man. How was your day going? I know you got a lot planned for Christmas with the kids and the army that you have. And
oh my gosh, yeah, dude. Yeah, Santa's gonna be busy this year, man. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, it's another beautiful day, man. We had a lot of snow this year. We had about 3 feet of snow. It seems like a couple days ago or something like that. So last week we had a bunch of snow, Chris, and so much so that we broke the record. I think my wife was telling me for the most amount of snow in a 24-hour period since the 60s.
Oh, wow.
And that was last week. I'm not following statistics. This is just what my wife told me. But I think 2 days ago, we got even more snowfall than that, man. So it's been crazy. I've been up to my eyeballs. I've got snow along the bottom of my window seal in my igloo. It's nuts, man. It's nuts. Do you guys have any snow over there in your little corner in New York?
A little corner. Yeah, we got a couple, not as much as Alaska, but we definitely had a little spurt of snow. I want to say about a couple of inches, but we're so used to it. It's still normal for New York. They're very good at plowing the roads over here, which we don't have to worry about as much. But when we get a storm like you're getting in Alaska, that's a different ball game. So
oh yeah, it's a doozy, which it actually works out pretty well because we're taking the kids today to go see Santa's reindeer farm. So it's really neat. I was just telling Chris, like everywhere else in the lower 40, we call it the lower 48 here in Alaska, but everybody else in the lower 48, they go hunting for deer and elk and whatever else you guys hunt for down there. But up here, like obviously hunting moose and hunting reindeer are really big up here. So there's just reindeer galore. And so they got this reindeer farm that we're going to go take our kids to, and they get to go pet Santa's reindeer and go feed them out of their hand. And though it's really neat. It's really cool. They make hot cocoa, and they got these little craft things that they do. So it's a really neat time for the kids. And then they got Santa's, I guess Santa's house, man. I guess that's what you would call it. But dude, it is the coolest thing in the world. I've never seen anything like this. We've lived all over the country, and I've never seen this anywhere else outside of Alaska. But they've got Santa's house up here, bro. And you go in there, and you've got elves. They're singing, they're dancing, they're making you cocoa. Mrs. Claus, is baking everybody a fresh batch of cookies. And dude, it is sick. You get to go see Santa's sleigh, and then at the end, you get a gift, and you get to take pictures with him and tell him what you want for Christmas. So it's super dope. So today's gonna be fun. I know Christmas is a special time of the year for you specifically with you and your son. Just like it is with us and our family. I know you guys are really big into the matching pajamas, the Christmas movies. I mean, you guys are putting us up. There's a good rivalry there. So I'm like, oh man, I need to start doing that. So yeah, it's awesome, man. It's been a good year.
100%. I loved it, Christmas. And just to let you guys know, although Christmas is next week, we are going to still be live on our show on Christmas Eve. So we will be here next week. No days
we will
off.
be here next week, dude. Next week's show is going to be specifically on goal setting.
That is correct.
So we got the new year right around the corner, and we're going to be hammering down like nobody's business on goal setting. So if you guys, if you guys haven't gotten your goals together or anything yet, make sure you guys attend next week. We're going to be going into some really in-depth stuff. Chris, Colin, and I, we all got some pretty lofty goals for 2023. So we're really excited. And this is going to be a lot of fun to be able to kind of share with you guys our process for goal setting and making sure that we are staying consistent and aligning ourselves to to meet those. You are in the North Pole, Jesse. I definitely am. You know what? There's actually a town that's just north of me. It's called North Pole, and it is literally Christmas year round. Chris, like even the like the parking lot lights. You know what I mean? The light poles and everything, like they're painted candy cane, and it's year round. It's Christmas year round there, dude.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
Dope. It is cool. When you come up for our marathon, we can go up to the North Pole, and we can go. Of course, I'm assuming you're bringing your son,
right?
We'll get all the kids together. We'll go fishing. We'll go camping. We'll go four-wheeling. Do all the things, and of course, we'll take the kids to Santa's house in June.
Crazy, right?
So that'll be cool, man.
Those who do not know Jesse, he legitimately lives in Alaska. Lives in Alaska.
I do. We're getting a new dog sled for Christmas this year, so getting the dog sled 2.0. Maj, what up,
Love
bro?
it.
If you guys don't know, Maj is freaking amazing. Him and his amazing fiance Anna, they work with us. They work with us over at Third Mind, and they are amazing individuals. If you guys are looking for people to network with, because that's what today's show is about. It's about networking, relationships, scaling those individuals around you guys. And Maj, and like I said, his beautiful fiance Anna are both with us. They work with Chris and I. And if you guys are wanting to learn how to increase your communication skills, your negotiating skills, if you want to learn how to hammer down on those phones, these guys are phenomenal people to connect with. They're doing some really awesome stuff. And together, cumulatively, we've got some really awesome things that we're planning for next year. So definitely reach out to them.
Absolutely. So, guys, as Jesse was saying, relationships and networking, right? That's the topic of it today. But before we jump right into that, we do want to talk about what's the main topic right now within the challenge is multifamily. A lot of us right now are, potentially going into that direction of multifamily. So we get a lot of questions about, what the next steps is, what that really looks like, and how do you even move forward. And one thing that I do want to say, and Jesse and I, we just had a conversation about it the other day. We don't want you to get the shiny object syndrome. We don't want you to get that. More so, we want you to. The PACE is creating opportunities to let people know there's 1,000 different ways to make money. If you like multifamily, jump into multifamily. If you want to stay with single family houses, only buy those, only learn those. Short-term rentals, only learn that. He just wanted to he's giving one free value. So we do got to respect his time, his energy, what he's putting into the actually putting out all this information. It's a lot of work. And he has a team behind him that supports him 100%. We support him 100%. And I just want to let you guys know specifically that what he's doing is free value. So it's not, hey, stop what you're doing. If you've been working on short-term rentals for the last 6 years and then you love what you do, and then all of a sudden, bam, PACE brings out multifamily. He don't want you to stop what you're doing just to work on multifamily. He's just creating a space to let you know, hey, here's a way to get into multifamily if you're really interested. This is not the all be all kind of scenario. Is it a good market to be in or a good strategic way to go? 100%. That's something that Jesse and I and Colin, we've been talking about multifamily for about a year now. But we know specifically that for our goals and our objectives, what we had at the time, it wasn't right for us at that specific time. Going into the New Year's, having everything timed out, we're going to talk a little bit about this next week, actually, on Christmas Eve, about goal setting, what that really looks like. Some of our goals that we actually doing for 2023, which we're super, super ecstatic about. And, I don't want to spill all of it, but I'm super excited about what's to come. A little bit surreal almost. Would you say, Jesse?
Oh, dude, 100%, man. 100%. This, I had something happen to me yesterday. Chris knows what it is, and it's pretty personal, so I'm not going to share it. But it's been something I've been manifesting for a couple years now. And it really just kind of gave me the perspective of literally anything is possible. You see all these motivational, quotes and something that could be, something that you'd see on a bumper sticker or something. What would you attempt if you knew you could not fail? And although I've known that and I've hustled like that, once you hit that point though of manifesting these big moments in your life, it really just puts you in a different mindset. It unlocks something, and only once you achieve that do you realize. That's why they say like making your first $1 million is always the hardest, because you're figuring out, you have to go through these types of struggles. You have to know that what you're doing is not working. How you're spending your time is not working. The people that you're surrounding yourself with is not working. And then you have to pivot. You have to be a millionaire in your mind long before you ever manifest that stuff on paper, long before you ever manifest that into your bank account. You have to be waking up early and doing these millionaire things long before that manifests in your life. And anyway, I had one of those big moments for me yesterday, and it was really neat and it was special. And I'm very grateful for my business partners, Chris and Colin, and for them being very integral in making that happen, for me and my family. And it was super awesome. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And again, this goes back to relationships, networking, all the awesome things that we're going to be talking about today. So thank you, Chris.
No, thank you, man. Thank you. Trust me, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you and Colin. But absolutely, everything he stated is 100% correct. More so if you change your mindset, and you got to see the money. You got to see the money long before you even receive it. That's why when people hit the lotto, they hit the lotto for 50, whatever that may, 50 million, 100, whatever that number may look like, and you see they lose that statistically like within a year because they don't know how to. I'm just gonna say they're poorly mismanaging the money. Just throw it out there, right? They're not using the money correctly. They want to buy 8 different cars, whatever that may look like, and then also you're selling a car 6 months later because you can't afford whatever that may look like. But yeah, 100%. But just want to throw that out there, guys. Multifamily is like the new wave, the new trend. I definitely think it's a phenomenal space to get into if you're really interested in it. Don't just do it because everyone's doing it. Do it because that's what you like and what you really want to proceed and get into. Although you get into multifamily, it don't stop there. There's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes. There's a lot of stuff, and that's more so. I know Pace is potentially going to do another series of exactly what that looks like. So, yeah, thank everyone for being here. Much appreciated. Again, guys, you guys are doing much better today. Freaking love it. Forgot where I was for a second. Freaking love it. We're seeing names in the chats and all that good stuff from YouTube, Facebook. Much appreciated. You guys are granting StreamYard visibility for your names. I love it. And thanks for being here. So, yeah, today's about relationships and networking. Relationships and networking. I want you guys to throw in either the side chat, wherever you streaming from, YouTube, Facebook. How important do you think on a scale of 1 to 10 is networking and relationships to you? I just want to see it. I just want to see. So, Jesse, let me ask you then. Also, we got Darcy saying 10, Luke saying 10.
Got a lot of 10s. 10. There's
Sean,
1,000 right there.
I love that.
John said 1,000.
Chris, 10. Frank, 10. Frank, good to see you, man. We're Jesse and I are working with Frank right now on a pretty strategic thing he's doing. It's pretty neat what he got going on. But yeah, we're working with Frank right now as well. Maj says 10. Darcy says very important. Facebook user, please grant StreamYard access to see your name. Wish I knew who we were speaking to. Billy said 10 plus, 100%. In networking and relationship, I can't put a number on it. I cannot put a number on it due to the fact of a couple of years ago, I wouldn't have thought that was important. Being in the hospitality restaurant industry before I start literally building, trying to be an entrepreneur. Going from a 1099, going from a W-2 to a 1099 is a different ball game. And where specifically relationships, networking opens new opportunities. It can't be when it's convenient. You need to be going out there leading with value. And Jesse, I want you to correct me if I'm wrong. Just jump in whenever you want. And you got to lead with value. Don't just try to. Again, guys, I'm a very blunt individual. I'm black or white. Either you're black or white with me. There's no gray areas. So don't take anything I say as disrespect or anything. It's just more so I'm a realist. And so it's just more so specifically in relationships, be yourself, be transparent, and communicate. That is it. And be consistent with it. If you're going to look for a relationship or try to build that kind of long-lasting relationship, you really got to be consistent. And don't just send a email template. Don't create a template and just send a bunch of emails out saying the same thing and change the name. Be personal. Give them a call. Like when people reach out to me, for me personally with relationships, especially through Messenger, Instagram, I don't respond back through a text. I don't respond back through just typing away. I actually either going to hit a voice memo or go on Messenger, and actually you're going to hear my voice. I don't like the way my voice sounds, but you're going to hear my voice, and I'm going to respond to you. I want to get to know you. and understand exactly one who you are and if I want to even work with you in the future. At the end of the day, I always present conversations as leading with value. No if it's about it. How can I help you? I never brag about what I do. And I know Jesse doesn't. We know what we're capable of doing, but more so, it's just the fact of never. A lot of people go for just take it, take, and never give, and always wonder why they're in the same position 3 months from now, 6 months from now, and eight, whatever that may look like. And I know when I left the restaurant industry and started building my own business, right now I got 3 businesses, and Jesse and I, we're making tons of money. We're making tons of money, and the fact of we wouldn't be able to do that if we didn't change our mindset and have the right individuals around us. Quite frankly, we build our entire business, as a lot of you may know. We see a lot of returners, as I don't know if that's the right word, or returners, or a lot of them that come back, but they know we build our entire business off the book, who not how, and putting ourselves out there. Jesse, actually, perfect example. Jesse and I met at Pace's house. We met at Pace's house at I believe it was what is it, a taco party, if I'm not mistaken.
It was, and it was a Kodak moment.
Yeah, and I was in Phoenix. I live in New York, and literally, he lives all the way in Alaska. If I would have never booked that flight, I probably wouldn't be even communicating with you guys today. No ifs and buts about it. But I know everything is about timing. Everything happens for a reason. It's just a matter of when is actually your time. Are you going to fight for your time? What does that really look like? What is the next steps? Who are you really surrounding yourself with? And I hate to say this like this. How much is your best friend making?
Ooh, that's deep right there, bro.
Yeah. And if they're making $30,000 a year and they're happy, that's fine. Let them be happy. But I know for a fact, I personally, I'm not looking to make $30,000 a year. That's not me. I know the people I want to surround myself with is making millions, billions, whatever that may look like. You really got to understand your surroundings. And I forgot the quote. Jesse, you may know this. About you surround yourself about the. I don't know. I'm gonna remember. I'm gonna find out exactly what that quote was, but more or less, just surround yourself with people that you really see yourself.
That are doing what you want to be doing.
Yeah, there you go. Doing what you want to be doing. And I think it was Zach Hoyt or Super Mario who actually had a quote last week. Was it last week or the week before?
It was a few weeks ago.
It will always resonate with me, and it hit me hard. Where he literally stated to, and Jesse, that you were here. He literally stated, never take advice from someone who you're not willing to switch places with. So how can someone who's making, on a hypothetical, $10,000 a month, $10,000 a year, and wants to give me advice when I want to make $2 million a year? I can't switch places with that person. Perfect example, Pace. I'm taking all the advice he gives me. I want to be right next to him. I want to be, where he is. I know that can happen. And actually, I'm afraid it will happen next year for what we have planned. No offense about it. As far as the things that we have on the scope of work that's going to get done, you guys would think it's not achievable. But you got to change your mindset to ensure that it is achievable. We have the right team around us. With Maj, Anna, Colin, Jesse, everyone that's in our business, and all those others that's around us that I don't want to go into detail yet. I'm not gonna do it. I'm getting excited thinking about it because I don't want to spill too much and say it too much until next show.
Next week goal setting, man.
But I'm just super excited about that because a lot of people they limit themselves and think it is impossible. It is not. I really want you guys to understand that literally, if you want to make $1 million, you can make $1 million. If you want to make $150,000 a year, if you're comfortable with that, you can make $150,000. But you really got to set your mind to it, have the right people around it, and understand that specifically. Be consistent. Understand what your network is. Understand that. Understand how much you're really making. Are you going job to job? Are you really consistent in your job? Are you waking up every day being upset? I'm not upset. Every day I wake up, I'm super excited to get up and just be in real estate. At the end of the day, I can wake up when I get ready. I can technically wake up when at 11 o'clock every single day, but I don't. Wake up faithfully 5 a.m., sometimes 4:30, depending on the day. I'm not a morning person. Jesse, he's in Alaska. I believe he wakes up at 3 a.m. faithfully. because our first business meeting is at 8 a.m.
Eastern time.
Eastern Standard Time. So he's 4 hours behind preparing for the meeting that we have at 8 a.m. And that's dedication. You don't have to do that. But he does, because literally Pace, I love Pace for this. Millionaires don't complain about time. They don't. If they really want to get the work done, they make it happen.
You know what's interesting, Chris? Because you brought that up. You said, man, literally everything that Pace says, like, I just go do it. And it's interesting because something so minute like that, like millionaires don't complain about time. Okay, cool. And I'm going to go on with the rest of my day. Right. But there's a mindset shift that happens there when you're intentional with what you're doing in the conversations that you're having with people. Something that so freaking minute could be easily overlooked.
Absolutely.
But when you write that down, millionaires don't complain about time, and you think about that for a second, what does that actually mean? I remember somebody, this was a couple years ago. This is probably a little over 2.5 years ago. I remember Pace doing a YouTube video, and this was like right around the time I joined, like right around the time he started the mentorship, I think, or either it was literally like a week before. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember what the YouTube video was. I don't remember what all the comments in there said, but some guy commented underneath that, and it was something negative. I don't remember what it was. Like, oh, it's one of those things, where people start seeing you succeed. People that you used to work with, or friends or family or whatever, and they're like, oh, he must have got lucky. You know what I mean? It was like one of those sarcastic, side of your mouth type comments. And I don't remember what he said, but Pace was so fantastic in his response, man. The only thing that he said was, millionaires don't complain about time. And that was over 2.5 years ago, bro. And I took that to heart. I've never forgotten about it, and I never will. I don't have any tattoos, but if I was going to get a tattoo, that's literally something I would just have like right here on my hand, just so I can consistently look down at that shit. Millionaires don't complain about time. We all have things going on. We all have life going on. This isn't just one of those things where some people get lucky and some people don't. We figure out what is important. We prioritize our action items every week, and we're prioritizing our relationships, the people that we're spending our time with, the conversations that we're having. When you go into with that mindset of, millionaires don't complain about time, and you're in alignment with other people that share that same mindset, I mean, that's when you're going to see your results and your goals just skyrocket to unbelievable heights, and things that you guys are wanting to manifest. You're going to start seeing those things just come to fruition. Nothing will impact the state of your business more than the state of your relationships. I'm going to repeat that one more time. You guys need to write that down. Nothing will impact your business more than the state of your relationships. One of the first things Chris and I and Colin did when we first started. So just so you guys know, Chris and I, we've only been business partners for 6 months. I was thinking about this morning, Chris. Everything that we've done in just guys, we started from ground zero, literally ground zero, a level playing field, just like everybody else. And I've thought about everything that we've done the last 6 months. And I've thought about, oh my gosh, Chris and I have 6 more months before we even get to our year of partnership. I am so excited just to be able to document what is possible, what you could do in a year.
Yeah.
By being surrounded by the right people, being intentional with your time, having those right relationships, those meaningful relationships. It's just absolutely, like, it's mind-boggling to me that we've only been partners for 6 months. And like you said, the things that we are setting aside for ourselves to accomplish this year it's humbling, man. It's awesome. And I want to stay on track with the relationships, because I know, like, we're going to talk next week about goal setting, guys, but this is just, it's really neat. It's really phenomenal. And success happens when preparation meets opportunity. I heard that one time from Josh Duke, and that's something that really just stuck with me. Love Josh Duke. Shout out to Josh Duke.
Josh Duke. Amazing individual.
Another mastermind student, doing some really awesome big things, man. That guy's awesome. But I thought about that. Nothing will, success happens when preparation meets opportunity. So look what Pace is doing right now with the multifamily. He's having everybody jump in and get into teams. So Chris and I actually have a team. Actually, we're going to bring on more people. So if you guys want to be on mine and Chris's multifamily team, let us know. Shoot us an email. Chris, what do we need? Just your contact information, your email, phone number, where you're geographically located, and your avatar.
The avatar.
I feel like I'm missing one more thing.
No, I think let me just look at that. Nope, you know that. You know
that's it. Okay, and email that to thirdmindrei@gmail.com. But this is super exciting. This is just kind of a testament to what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So for those of you guys who have been taking action in the Elephant Challenge, for those of you, because we've been doing this, I think since July now, Chris?
Since July.
I think it's been July. And for those of you who have been actually taking action, getting into Privy, learning how to use Privy, learning how to comp, learning how to run ARVs to factor rehab numbers, you guys are doing market analysis. You guys are paying attention to what's going on with the market. You guys are having those types of conversations. You're learning, you're continuing your growth and your knowledge. And you're making phone calls to brokers. You're making phone calls to buyers. You're making phone calls to title companies. You guys are building your network. All of that has led up to you guys jumping in and really having a jump start in this multifamily realm. So when Pace came out and said, hey, everybody join a team. Success happens when preparation meets opportunity. If you guys have been intentional and not just sitting on the sidelines and consuming content and just putting out offers when it's convenient, everybody that's been taking action the last 4 or 5 months that we've been doing this Elephant Challenge now, you guys are going to see some massive, massive, massive results. And we're really, really excited.
Yep, 100%. Pole Gem. I think I'm stating your name right. Your name, avatar, where you're located, contact information. Appreciate it. Thanks for putting that up there. And again, I just put the email in a side chat, so you can. Well, also, I'm not for sure if Facebook is going to be able to see it. I can actually put it on here, so they can.
Yeah, you might have to put it in here.
But thanks for putting that out there. Much appreciated. Gmail.com.
While you're doing that real quick, I want to share something with somebody. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and record it right now. So we're talking about building relationships, right? There's a lot of people that reach out to Chris and I. Sometimes they'll put Chris and I both in a group text. And with no context, no name, no introduction, no who you are, no where you are, they just throw us information about a deal. And it's like, oh, well, thank you. Who is this? I'm telling you right now, that's not how you build relationships, guys. Don't do that. And one of the things that I love doing, if somebody shoots me a text message or in an introduction, or if I'm just reaching out to somebody, one of the things I love to do is I'll record a video.
Yep.
What better way to introduce yourself to somebody, to build a meaningful and intentional relationship with somebody, than to do something out of the norm, do something that's going to stick, especially if you got a lot of people that are doing things that you want to be doing. Odds are they're pretty busy people. Odds are they have a lot of people reaching out to them. So what are you going to do to stand out? And one of the things that I actually got a text message from an individual, his name is Jake Sharp. Shout out to Jake Sharp. He sent me a video.
Him and his twin are amazing.
Do what?
Him and his brother are amazing.
Dude, he sent me a video this week, dude, and it was awesome. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna shoot you a video back. And I was waiting for this Elephant Challenge to give Jake Sharp a shout out. I was like, man, what better way, man? He's beat me in my own game. What better way to do it than just do it on the Elephant Show, man? That is how you make relationships. It was just absolutely phenomenal, man. So shout out to you, Jake. Appreciate you, brother. But routinely reach out to important contacts, guys. People that you guys are meeting. What a lot of people do is, because if you go back and if you scroll up on the chat, everybody here, there was a lot of people that said that they acknowledge that relationships out of a scale of 1 to 10 on importance. There was a lot of people that said it's a 10, it's a 1,000, it's an 11, it's a 10 plus. But why aren't more people being intentional with those relationships? Simply just reaching out to somebody when it's convenient for you or when you need something is not a good way to build relationships with people. You have to be consistent with it. If you got to put reminders in your phone to reach out to these individuals just to say, hey, or just to lead with value, do it.
Absolutely.
Offer to help before you ask for help. Okay, when you're building relationships, we all had a meeting before the Clever Summit. For those of you guys who know what the Clever Summit is or went to the Clever Summit, that was earlier this year. I think that was in like April or something, wasn't it, Chris?
Yes, it was April. Yeah, in April actually. Yep.
Yeah. We all had a Zoom kind of just on building relationships and networking. And one of the big things that stuck out from that was to be interested, not interesting. Let me repeat that again. Be interested, not interesting. Chris, what does that mean to you, do you think? Where do most people fumble that?
Let's start with everyone does it, especially if you're green in the industry, going into real estate. You want to be the Mr. Popular guy. That's what they're looking to do. And you don't need to start
talking about themselves.
Yeah, you don't need to do that. You don't need to tell them, oh, I did this, and this, and you don't need to do none of that. You don't have to. That's a complete turn off. I don't want to work with people like that. I don't. And I agree. Supreme on Fire, I believe that's Mario, right? I think that's Mario. Had a blast at the Clever Summit. We all did. It was phenomenal. It was a phenomenal event. And one thing I know we touched on it a little bit, but Ed Milet, I won't ever forget what he stated. And it will always resonate with me. If you want to make more money, go after bigger problems. Stop being so comfortable. Stop it. If there's no nerves involved, you're not going to grow. You're not. You're just going to be doing the same routine. And that's why people love their 9-to-5s. They love their 9-to-5s because it's comfortable. They know what they have to do. They know what it looks like on the inside out. They know what time they get there. They know what time they're leaving. But get uncomfortable. Do you want to do... I can go on hours and hours. And Ed Milet is amazing. I'm pretty sure 99% of people know who Ed Milet is. You know, he just came out with the Power of One More. But when he stated that, he was 100% correct. 100% correct, man. And I will never forget that. And that's what shifted my gears. Like doing this little deals here and there, you know, receiving $5,000, $10,000 assignments is great. Don't get me wrong. That's great. But there's so much money out there, and there's so many bigger problems out there. I'm going after the easy shit. Stop it. Like one is solve someone's problem. Quick story, and I'm sure you guys saw my Instagram post and my story yesterday in regards to the deal we just closed in North Carolina. This was a group of women from a mastermind over in California. There was literally 8 of them that was working on this transaction along with me, along with 2 other attorneys. The attorney was actually, shout out to Harry Marsh, phenomenal individual. He's doing business out of South Carolina and North Carolina. Amazing individual. He knows all about creative finance from literally any single thing. Amazing individual. Walked us through the entire, we went from like a subject to contract to a novation to an option agree. It was a lot of different things. This is a $2.4 million property, right? It's a lot of different moving parts, but more or less, these are a group of women who work together, who came from networking. One of the individuals reached out to me by referral, and I actually helped them transaction coordinate it, the entire process from beginning to end. There's a lot of paperwork. There was a lot of different things to get done. I could have easily said no. Easily. There was a significant amount of paperwork. Would I love the easy cash transaction, you know, done deal kind of situation? 100%. But no, what I'm guaranteed is get yourself in uncomfortable positions, even if you don't know. Jesse and I don't know everything. And like, again, back to how we build our business, who, not how. Then this where it comes with relationships. Who in your contact list right now specifically can you reach out to see who can help you in the next step? If you're looking to get a short-term rentals, who can you reach out in your phone right now to help you with short-term rentals? Who can you reach out right now can help you with multifamily, and so on and so on. So you have to be consistent on relationships and get uncomfortable. If you don't like talking to people, get over it. I hate to say that, but get over it. You have to talk to people in order to build relationships. No ifs or buts about it. No ifs or buts about it. And Jesse, would you agree that, initially starts with a communication, whether that's email, text, social media, whatever that may look like, but you have to put yourself out there. And a lot of you guys know this now, but, I put myself in uncomfortable positions every single day. At the end of the day, I am a true homebody. I love being home. I if I had to, I would stay at home all day, sleep on the couch and all that good stuff. Don't leave the house. I will watch Home Alone, especially during the Christmas years. I'll watch all 5 of them every single day on a routine. That's just me, but I've got to force myself to get out there and build relationships. And that's where it starts with, not just build it when it's convenient. Oh, I need to go find a short-term rental guy who's actually focused on that because I need it right now. No. What is the long picture? How many different ways can you really make money with this individual? Does my relation stop after I have one conversation with you? How many doors are we going to go through together? It's just a lot of different things. People look for opportunity. Like, just don't be an opportunist. I hate to say it like that, but it might sound kind of rough. But just don't be that guy that doesn't lead with value. Like, anytime I have conversations, I'm looking to see how I can help them. Whether it's the small thing, maybe it's a connection I may know they need. You just never specifically know. And that's why one thing I really love about Jesse and Colin, like, a lot of different opportunities are out there, and we always know the approach, because essentially if we always went in like, one gentleman, you guys probably heard this 2 weeks ago, but one gentleman reached out to me, literally start off the conversation, how much are we going to make off this deal? I'm sorry, what? Sorry, what?
Now, that was the first thing that was said, guys. We don't know anything about the property. We haven't talked to the seller yet. We haven't done nothing. Okay, that was the first thing that was said.
Crazy, right? It was crazy. Like, those individuals got a different mindset. They're only caring about themselves versus these 8 women that I was working with. They're out of the mastermind of California. They were looking to work together. They didn't know exactly how much they was making until 2 days before closing. I love that. And to find out there's a significant amount of meat on the bone, they're all going to make a lot of money. But the main focus was to figure out how to get the husband and wife onto the next destination. If you change that approach, you make a lot more money. And people don't understand that. You make a lot more money. But these women were phenomenal. I'm not for sure if they watching or they even in the mentorship, not mentorship, but in the community. But I'm not for sure even how we connected, but I know it was a referral. But they're amazing. They're phenomenal. I'm just going to throw their name. Clark, if you're hearing me, or Dawn, Amanda, if you guys are listening, Courtney, I know I'm missing a few. Emily, you guys are all amazing. Monica, truly, truly amazing ladies to work with. And just what you guys are going to do, I know it's going to be surreal. You guys are going to surpass a lot of people. And these are a group of women. They wanted to make sure it was only women who was doing this project. And they only reached out to me because they knew I knew the process, exactly how to help them get them there. And, at the end of the day, we fed off different ideas. We got it to the finish line. And I love that. Now, those are people I will want to work with them in the future. This is there's a lot of different opportunities that open up different doors. Like, these are people I want to bring and say, hey, Jesse, Colin, these are individuals we need to get to know. This is people we should be working with. Like, things like that specifically, those are people you need around you. You can't just find someone how much are we going to make on this deal before even knowing anything about the full picture. And it's kind of crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, it's just a lot of money out there. Potentially on a minimum, they're probably going to make literally about $300,000 to $400,000 on that minimum. It's a $2.4 million property. It's phenomenal, and there's so much money out there. Go after bigger problems. Stop being that guy. Oh, I'm only going to buy condos. I'm only going to buy single family houses. If you love that, execute, scale it, do what you want to do. But if you want to make a lot more money, go after bigger problems. But yeah, I didn't mean to deviate the conversation, Jesse. Back to you.
No. That was magic, bro. That was magic, dude. Ed Milet, dude. His book, The Power of One More, it sits on my nightstand next to my Bible. Those are my 2 books, man, right there. Yeah, no, he's phenomenal, man. He's absolutely phenomenal. Dude, Luke, I appreciate you, bro. I met Luke about 7 weeks ago, and we've just developed a fantastic relationship. This guy is a go-getter. A lot of you guys have already connected with him. A lot of you guys already know him. And we're continuing to build together. We're always learning. We're always going to be in the state of learning. Like Chris said, we don't know everything, but it goes back to who, not how. I don't have to know everything. Guys, guess what? I don't want to know everything. Chris doesn't want to know everything. That's a waste of time, man. We know what we're good at. We're intentional with what we're doing, with what our roles are in our business. And that's what we do. That's what we focus on. We each have our role. We do a lot of stuff, guys. We do a lot of JVs with people. We do, we can help you with acquisitions. We can help you negotiating, follow up. We have an I think our dispo is phenomenal. I think we're unparalleled.
100%.
I feel like we're second to none. We got an amazing dispo team that we work with a lot of people. We got buyers in all 50 states. Just as Chris said, we do a lot of TC work. If you guys need help with TC, we can help you with all of that. If you guys need lenders, we just became a bank. We have a loan officer that works with us, works under us, in our business, man. You guys think I know anything about being a bank? No. That's why I brought somebody else into my business, man.
Absolutely.
So nothing will impact your business more than the state of your relationships, guys. And what was I going? Where I was going somewhere. Oh yeah, I wanted to share an epiphany I had, right? Because we're always learning, we're always growing, we're always figuring out different ways of doing things, of pivoting, of moving, of positioning. Like Chris said, we met at a mastermind earlier this year, and both went down to Phoenix, and that was a very surreal experience for me. It was just the neatest experience ever, sitting in an entire room of people doing things of a very high caliber. And it's a little intimidating, and I mean, that was the first time that I had done anything like that. And it was neat because I looked in that room. I could tell, like, man, dude, everybody here is doing shit way bigger than me. Everybody here knows way more than me. And even with that said, there was still a lot of value and perspective that I could provide. And when you can acknowledge that, when you're in it, when you're in rooms with people that are doing bigger things than you, then you know you're in the right room.
Yep. 100%.
Now, this year, like I said, has been a big year for Chris and I. It's been pretty awesome. And even so, after going through everything we've gone through this year, I have learned so much. And I bring up that mastermind as an example because looking back at it, like, I feel like I could have done more. I feel like I could have been more. I feel looking back at it, I spent a lot of time I was there to network, right? We did a lot of networking. We still keep in touch with everybody that we went to the mastermind with, which is phenomenal. But I'm looking back at it and I'm like, dude, I could have done way more. I could have been way more intentional at that mastermind. It was the first time I'd really left Alaska for something like this big. And I took my dog sled as far as the border and then had to catch an Uber down to Phoenix. But it was the first time that I had done something of that level, of that caliber. And it was really, really neat. And looking back at it, I'm thinking I could have been way more intentional in that experience, because I spent a lot of time, just kind of getting to know people and hear what people are doing. And we kind of just talked about where people are from and where they're working and all that kind of stuff. And then you shake hands and you move on, and then they're like, oh, hey, where are you at? What market you working? What are you doing? Oh, cool, man. Well, hey, if I see any deals that, fit your buy box in Salt Lake City, Utah, I'll be sure to keep you in mind. And then, you shake hands, you part, and then you go and you talk to the next person, right? That is not the way to network. Now, I was being interested and not interesting, so I was doing it right, but I wasn't as intentional as I could have been. And without going through the things that Chris and I and Colin have gone through this year, I wouldn't have been able to get that perspective on, wow, this is where I messed up. and this is what I could do better. Now, from an outsider's perspective, they could see that same exact scenario of me in the mastermind. Like if you go back and watch a movie of Jesse at the mastermind of what Jesse did, somebody could look at that and be like, yeah, I literally don't see anything wrong with what you did. But it's interesting because from my perspective, the action that I've taken and the growth that I've given myself, I can look back at that and say, oh, wow, this was actually what I could have done more. And this is where I could have been more intentional. And Absolutely. So for a lot of the, for example, for a lot of the one-on-ones that we've been having with a lot of you guys in here, those conversations are way more intentional, aren't they? Chris and I will ask you point blank, what's going on in your business? What's good? What's the bottleneck? And how can we come together and not only make money, but what else do you have going on? What are your goals for this year? And how many ways can we make money together? And this has led to some amazing, amazing conversations. Not just how can we 100%. Make money together, but how many ways can we make money together? And then that sparks a deeper level of conversation. And that leads Chris and I to find, okay, this is what this person's doing. We want to be along for this ride. Let's figure out how the hell we're going to come and over deliver with value to build that relationship. And all of this was perspective that I gained from not doing it exactly that way at our mastermind. And so some of our goals for going into this year, and I know we're kind of teetering this line between relationships and goals, but I feel like they kind of walk hand in hand with each other. But, some of our goals going into this next year is to attend a handful of different, high-level masterminds all across the country. And so from that perspective that I've gotten in the ways that Chris and I have grown as individuals and as business owners and as leaders, we know now how to go in and be even more intentional with that. So super, super important. There's always opportunity to grow and to learn. And there's once you feel like you get to the top, like I feel like people when it comes to their goals and things they want to accomplish, I think they see it as I got to get up here, 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 and then I've made it. For a lot of people that might be $1 million, for example. I got to get to $1 million. I got to get to $1 million. I got to get to $1 million, and then I can kind of coast. You know what? Once you get to that $1 million mark, that's great because you have the blueprint now. You've gone through the struggles and you know what to do and what not to do and how to be more intentional with your time, with your business, with your relationships, right? That goes into it. That's why the first $1 million is always the hardest, guys, because you're trying to figure this out. You're trying to figure out how to be more intentional. And just at that example that I explained at the mastermind, I can look back at that and I can say, this is where I could have done better. This is how I could have had a better conversation with this individual. This is where I could have led with even more value. And so going forward, we're figuring all of this stuff out, right? And that's part of the blueprint. You have to go through this. But if you guys aren't taking any action, how are you going to figure this stuff out? So part of coming in here, just like with Sunday service and wholesale hotline, the entire point of coming into these shows with Chris and I is for you guys to get in here and to JV together, to work together, to reach out to people. That's the entire point of these. I'm not seeing I've seen a couple people networking in the comments, but you guys should be approaching these meetings or these shows or whatever it is you guys are doing. And not only mine and Chris's, anything you guys are going to, any Zoom meetings, whatever it is that you guys have going on throughout the week, you need to go into it with an intention. If you have a meeting with somebody, a one-on-one meeting because you guys are networking, go in there and don't just jump into it and say, hey, what do you have going on? Before you even get into it, write down on a pad of paper, write down, what is this meeting about and what do I want to get out of it? Be intentional. When you guys come into these shows with Chris and I, or when you guys go into Zoom meetings throughout the week, write down on your sheet of paper, what is my goal? What do I want to come out of this meeting? Even if it's not your meeting, even if you're just jumping in and you're a fly on the wall or you're a participant, how intentional are you going to be with building relationships with the people? I mean, this is crazy, guys, because social media is free. You got people making millions and billions of dollars just networking on social media. This is all free. And you guys have already acknowledged how important it is. It's a 10 out of 10. It's an 11 out of 10. It's a 1,000 out of 10 on the scale of importance.
Absolutely.
But how intentional are you being? Are you being that intentional? You know that you got to do it. Are you constantly communicating and reaching back out with those people that you're building relationships with? Or are you shaking hands and then moving on to the next person, just seeing how many people you can get through? It's
Love
not
that.
quantitative, it's quality. Quality relationships. Are you guys building quality relationships? So when you guys come into these shows, you should be writing down what are your expectations through this show. Maybe it's just, hey, I want to take one thing that Chris and Jesse talk about, and I'm going to go implement it this week. Just like that one thing that I told you guys about that Chris brought up a little bit earlier. He said, millionaires don't complain about time. Something as simple as that. Write that shit down. All right, what does this mean now? Millionaires don't complain about time. How can I think about things differently? How can I level up my game? How can I be intentional? How can I take action on millionaires don't complain about time? Maybe it's one thing. I just wanted to see Jesse's face. Bro, let's go to the gym. Get your ass up. You know I'm at the gym at 3 a.m. Let's go, Joe. Let's go, buddy. So what I'm getting at, guys, is be intentional. Get into the comments. Maybe it's, hey, I want to take action on one thing Chris and Jesse talk about. And then I also want to schedule 10 relationships or I want to schedule 10 meetings with other people that are also in this next week. Little tweaks like that. You guys already have acknowledged the importance of relationships. But are you taking action on it? Are you being intentional about it? You guys know what you need to do. It's almost like, and we're going to get into this next week. I'm trying not to like dive into our goal setting stuff, but they walk hand in hand, man. Your guys' goals and the quality of your guys' relationships, this meeting today and next week's meeting are going to be huge. And they're going to tie in together for setting you guys up for 2023.
I'm super excited about 2023. They have no idea what's coming, and I'm super ecstatic. And I know you and Colin, I know we've been talking about this for quite a while. And a big thing, like Jesse just stated, you got to write everything down. You truly do. If you always one of your vision, having a vision about it, it can happen. Just got to put it on paper to actually make sure it executes. Orlando, I don't know. Mr.
Orlando?
Sterling. I'm just gonna say Sterling. Sterling. I have a list of properties. Skip Trace about 7 properties with names and numbers to call. Who's ready to link up? I love that. He is actually action taker right there. This is someone you need to be working with. He has a list ready. Who's ready to call it? We don't know his situation, but Mr. Sterling, he may be in a situation where specifically he can't probably make those calls. He needs to squad up with somebody who can actually make those for him. And you guys, JV, that's a perfect case scenario. Even that there's people in here that have a W-2 that may need to offload a couple of things, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine. It's just more so finding exactly what you're looking for. Ben Watkins, that was really written down. Jesse, millionaires don't complain. Yeah, love it. Ben's amazing, guys. Ben's another individual. You guys need to connect with him and action taker here. Just, when you guys reach out, lead with value, whatever that may look like for you specifically. And biggest thing, I did see a comment up. Can't find it now. It's going to highlight it, but I think it was Angel Miller. Just go in and be yourself. Just be yourself. When making connections, don't try to be somebody else. I'm not going to never try to be like Pace Morby. I'm not going to never be like Jesse Stanton. I'm never going to be like Ben Watson. I'm going to be like Chris James. If you don't like Chris James, everyone's not going to resonate with me. That is totally fine. I'm not going to get upset. I'm going to wish you the best. I want you, to be very successful. But at the end of the day, be yourself. Just be yourself. Yes, this was it right here. Yeah.
How do you make genuine connections and try to bring value to the people you meet without getting overwhelmed when you're being exposed to so many at one time?
Yeah, thanks for finding that. Much appreciated.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Angel, just literally be yourself. I'm a huge component of just being yourself. When you start acting like other people, that's when you start fumbling, you start stuttering. It's just a lot of a domino effect. Just be yourself. The way Jesse and I are communicating right now, this is normally how we communicate on the phone. We just be ourselves. We're not trying to beat someone else and try to get the deal. Of course, there's some one thing that I really love about Jesse, literally, we always play good cop, bad cop with some of these sellers on these phone calls, and it works. It works.
It's good, dude. It's awesome. We have that awesome back and forth, man. I thought you said bad cop, bad cop.
But it works. But legitimately, just be yourself. 100%. That goes a long way. And it's okay not to know everything. People think you really have to know everything. You don't. It's okay to tell the seller, agent, or whomever you're speaking to that you don't know the answer, that somebody else in that department handles that, or schedule another call. And just let's see, Angel Miller. I always try to be myself, but really get overwhelmed with the numbers of people who keep reaching out. I get it.
I love this.
I get it 100%.
So what Chris and I have done, and there's probably a lot of people watching this who have personally tried to reach out to me over the week and Chris over the week, and maybe we're extremely late getting back with you. I know there's one individual in particular that calls me about every day, and I appreciate it. I love it. I'm here to help, and we're here to make money and everything together. However, you have to be intentional with your time, right? When you have goals and things that you're trying to accomplish, and you have people in your charge and people that are depending on you, including not only just the people that you work with and your partners, but the sellers, right? They're depending on you to move things through, especially, if we're doing a TC or something like that. It's not just something that Chris and I could just stop and be like, oh yeah, let me answer this phone call with you, and we can shoot the breeze for 10 minutes. We're very intentional with our time, and we've time blocked our entire day.
Absolutely.
And we'll get more into that again next week, so I'm not going to go down too much of that rabbit hole. But you've got to, one of the things that Chris and I did this year to make sure that we were consistent in our relationships, that we were intentional without getting overwhelmed, was we went in and created a Calendly. If you guys haven't done that yet, oh my gosh, I think that is absolutely pertinent. It is non-negotiable in my book. Go create a Calendly, find the people that are doing what you want to be doing, and schedule that stuff. And I think I may have shared this with you guys maybe it was a couple weeks ago or something like that. But I had a lady that I was networking with, and we were just kind of talking about, what we're doing and our day-to-day kind of stuff. And she was telling me, she was like, well, what did she say? Something along the lines of, no 2 days are the same for me. And I'm sure you're the exact same way. I said, no, actually, as a matter of fact, I'm not. It's almost like Groundhog Day for me. Like, I'm Bill Murray. Like, I wake up every day, and it's exactly the same for me. I have the same meetings every single day. Well, they're not the same meetings necessarily, but those meetings are scheduled the same time every single day. Obviously, we're talking about other stuff, but we have those same meetings are time blocked every single day. I call sellers and close deals the same windows every single day. When I post on Facebook, it's not just when it's convenient for me. I have to schedule that shit into my day. Otherwise, I wouldn't ever post on Facebook because I'd be too freaking busy.
100%.
So the way that we organize and the way that we set time aside for building those relationships is we time block it. We schedule it into our day. So that way I'm not overwhelmed. I like I said, I've got people that call me out of the blue every single day because they need me to hump on with the realtor right now or with a seller right now. Look, guys, I don't mind doing that. I love doing that. But you have to understand at the same time, I have my days scheduled out. I can't just quit or not stay consistent. And you guys should be the same. If you guys are networking and you're networking with intention and wanting to lead with value, if you need Chris or I to make a call, awesome. Set upfront expectations with the seller and or realtor or broker and say, hey, let me get with my partner. Let me find a time for all of us to get on the phone, and let me get back with you and we'll schedule a time.
Absolutely.
Okay, you've got to be just as respectful to your time. Not only just the people that you're working with. But if you're in a state right now where you can answer any phone call at a whim, somebody calls you up and you can take a call, you're not busy enough.
100%. 100%.
I heard Pace say something along the lines of somebody was telling him about a relationship they built with somebody. And now I'm not going to sit here and speculate, but they said I remember they were telling Pace something along the lines of, yeah, no, I'm going to fly into Phoenix or wherever it was, and I'm going to meet up with this person. This is what they're doing. And he said, just hit me up and, let's go grab a cup of coffee. And I remember Pace saying, listen, if this guy's actually is Now these are my words, not his. I'm just kind of summarizing here. I'm not putting words in Pace's mouth, but it was something along the lines of basically, if you can fly into a city on a random day or within a week time frame or something like that, and you got some guy that's doing a lot of high caliber things, and he just says, "Yeah, hit me up. I'll pick you up from the airport and we can go grab a cup of coffee or something like that." Like, they're not busy enough. If you have time to get on, not to deviate, but I'm just going to tie this in because I'm seeing this. If you guys have time to get on Facebook and criticize, condemn, or complain or bitch about something, you already know what I'm going to say. You're not busy enough. So anyway, I'm off my soap opera box now.
You're good, man.
we just hit the hour mark. We'll probably wrap this up in maybe about 3, 4, 5 minutes. So if you guys have any specific questions, I need a script to present to a seller. I don't know what to say.
So let me dive into this one a little bit.
Please.
So Mr. Sterling, I wish I could say your first name correctly. I'm very good at butchering names.
It's Oronde.
Mr. Sterling, please. I need a script to present to the seller. I don't know what to say. Be yourself. Literally, I know it relates back. I know you probably want a script, but at the same time, like for VAs, when Jesse and I have VAs, we give them a script, but we totally use it as a guideline. If you're talking to an agent, literally just call about the property. Just have a conversation, whatever that may specifically look like. But if you want to talk to a seller, let me phrase this. Do we have scripts we can give you 100%? I can definitely DM you a script. That's not a problem. But I literally tell my team all the time, so use the script as a guideline. Because there may be 10 different questions specifically you want to ask. But that seller or agent may answer number 1, 7, 9, and 8, whatever it is. You're still trying to go down, where did I leave off? Then you become robotic, and you don't want to do that. You just literally want to have a conversation. And one thing, like when people say, well, actually this morning I had a call at 10 a.m. with Cindy. Cindy, if you're watching, shout out to you. Amazing job this morning. But literally specifically, we hopped on the call. Like we just in the beginning of the conversation, literally we could have easily read that, okay, we're going to say this, and this. No, we just literally, we knew the backstory. Let's get on the phone. Because if you try to mentally plan out exactly what you're going to say, it's going to go left. Because you could be in mid-conversation, then also that seller asks something specific. It may lose your your train of thought. Because you're trying to be robotic. Don't be robotic. Just literally be yourself. But when I'm having conversations with agents, I'm literally just being myself. Hi, my name is Chris. I'm actually calling about the property on 123 Main Street. Can you just tell me a little bit about what's going on? What's the activity? Or whomever that may look like. Let's be honest, agents don't pick up the damn phone, so we gotta get them on the phone at first. If you're a good agent, maybe you may get a text back. So it's a lot of different things. I'm not trying to downplay agents. I love agents. We actually just closed on the property with the agent, but literally, it's just a matter of specifically just be yourself, man. That's all. Just literally be yourself.
Imagine it like this. I heard Daniel Chiano make this comparison one time, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is a great comparative." So, why do people date? People go on dates for the most part because they're looking for a spouse, right? They're looking for a husband or a wife or whatever that is. And most people have certain criteria, of the caliber and type of individual that they're looking for. So when you go on dates, it's almost kind of like it's almost kind of like calling a seller, right? You're trying to figure out what's going on. What are they looking for? Can I help them? Does that align with what I'm trying to do? If you call somebody and their house is on the market and they're not interested in any sort of creative finance, clearly that's not a good fit. Clearly your guys' shit does not align. So imagine going out on a date with somebody. You got your little pen and notepad. Let's pretend like this is a script. Okay. I'm drawing. Hopefully you guys can keep up with this. I'm drawing 2 different comparables right here. So imagine I've got my script in front of me for my dating. Okay. And we're sitting down for dinner and she's telling me about her day at the gym this morning. And when it's my turn to talk about, I love fitness. I'm into, working out. I go to the gym at 3 a.m. and blah, 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 blah. Right. Instead of going out and and just going with the flow and being myself, this is what a script does. If she's telling me about her day at the gym and what she did and why she's tired or sore or whatever, and I look at my script and I'm like, so how many kids do you think you're looking for? Where do you want to live? Do you have to be talking to your mom all day? You know what I mean? Like, you start going down that script and it's like, wait, what? It's very unnatural. It's very unnatural. Luke.
Luke.
I got to share this, dude. This is funny. That's how engineers date. Get off the script, Luke. Get off the script, bro. But anyway, Orande, that's kind of the equivalent of what scripts do. They should be there. It's just look, I'll tell you everything you need to know. There's 4 pillars. There's 4 things you need to know. Okay. It's condition, motivation, price, and timeline. Those are the 4 things that you need to know. That's how we qualify a lead. That's it. It doesn't matter how the conversations go. I cannot tell you how many conversations I've had with people, and the first 10 minutes of the conversation, we're talking about Alaska. And we're talking about Alaska State Troopers and, all that kind of stuff. And then I got to tell them, hey, you know what? I appreciate it, but it's not like I'm out here, I'm not going to go saw the head off a moose. And then that's what we're eating. That's what we're putting in our chili tonight. I go get my produce from the local grocery store. I go to Walmart just like everybody else does. And, we get a good laugh and everything, but it's a very natural conversation. You know what I mean? I'm just being me. And when you want to be an amazing closer, ditch the script. Like Chris said, our VAs, it's there, and we use that as a guideline, and we showcase them and run scenarios and role plays on how to use it as a script. But a lot of times I tell them, hey, throw the script away. Throw the script away and then make some phone calls. I want you to F it up. Because that's
Absolutely.
once you start messing it up, those are the things that you're going to remember. And then we go back in and we listen to those recorded calls together, and it's way more natural. It's way more natural. And then I can say, okay, cool. This is where you should have said this. This would have been a good open-ended question to ask this. This would have been da-da-da-da-da-da, right? Oh, I eat moose meat. Absolutely. Absolutely. I just don't do it. I'm not out killing my own meat every night. Sometimes I'll run down to 3 Bears and get a prime rib.
Chris, 100%. If you guys have heard about the 80-20 rule, this is it. Seller and agent should always do majority of talking. If you're doing all the talking, you're something is wrong with that picture. The only time you should do a lot of talking when you need a closer on the phone, need to explain on a hypothetical subject to what is an ovation or what does that look like. But even then, you don't want to overly communicate, because sometimes overly communicating something can still trigger a confused mind. So you don't want to move forward that direction. Specifically, you want to answer it. Sometimes you got to answer it as a 3rd grader. You got to break it down as a 3rd grader as well to have them fully understand. Like this morning's conversation at 10 a.m., the guy was extremely savvy. He owns a property management company. He has many properties throughout Phoenix and also Florida. So some of those conversations are a little bit different. And he's a numbers guy. So it's great to have a numbers guy that knows his numbers. But yeah, it's amazing. It's definitely amazing. And I personally never had moose meat. I don't know exactly what that
yet
entails, and that's an Alaska thing. When I go down in June, I'm going to Alaska in June, and specifically, I'm going to be experimenting with a lot of different foods over there. So if I don't come back, you know what happened. Absolutely. Absolutely right. Your mistakes. And so and I do want to end it on this note. I did see a comment. I think it was not from Angel, but from Poe. I think it was Poe Gem. I know it wasn't probably specifically directly to her, but it's more giving her like a positive feedback. But always be thankful for the opportunity. Operate from a place of thankfulness, and you cannot go wrong. 100%.
Dude, I love that. There are too many
100%.
people when they're building relationships, they are entitled.
Yeah.
You are not entitled to shit. Nobody is entitled to call your seller. Nobody's entitled to drop what they're doing at any given time to get on a phone with you or to do whatever. You are not entitled for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfulness, gratitude, abundance, positivity.
Humbleness. Just be very humble about everything you do and everything you have. Truly, truly, guys, if you once you start to really understand that, things will get better. Stop bitching, complaining about how things are going wrong. Fix the situation. Get yourself out of the situation.
Here's
Everything
another
happens
one-liner,
for a reason.
Chris. Shut up and do the work.
Where is that? Oh, 100%. That is
Dude,
it.
me and Chris,
That
somebody
is it.
Pace told Chris and I that one time, and we literally talk about that probably once a week. We're not oblivious to the things going on in our life. Life happens, right? These random things happen. Life happens. Family. We got all sorts of stuff going on. Things you didn't expect.
Absolutely.
But it comes down to like simple things like that, guys. When you see people that are doing what you want to be doing, you need to be very intentional with those things that are being said. Small things. Like I said, most people would overlook millionaires don't complain about time. Cool bumper sticker, bro. But that little thing, man, you write that down, you think about it. How can I take action on something that minute? If somebody, Chris and I, like I said, Pace told us, shut up and do the work.
Yeah. I remember that. That was key.
I was like, dude, freaking love that. Roger that. Let's go. Shut up and do the work. All right, cool. Love that.
Amazing.
If somebody does something for you, you never let them forget. I've had a handful of people do some pretty big things for me. And since we're just talking about relationships and, maintaining those relationships and not just trying to see, because there's another saying, right? The more hands you shake, the more money you make. But you have to be intentional with that. They're not talking about go shake 1,000 hands a day. They're talking about the more hands you shake, the more money you make. You want to make those light relationships meaningful and intentional. And this isn't just touch base with somebody once a quarter or every 6 months or once a month or whatever that is. And the only time that you're really talking is when you need something. Be intentional with those relationships, guys. Again, everybody has already acknowledged that they know that on a scale of 1 to 10, that you're well above a 10 in importance of relationships and the state of your business. So let's leave today's call and let's be more intentional with those relationships. I do the same thing, man. Chris and I talk to so many people that I have to set reminders in my phone to make sure that, hey, I need to reach out or I need to follow up with this person or, hey, this person needs this. So make sure that you're setting time aside to go in and lead with value in that way. So, those are the types of things you got to become a millionaire in your mind long before it ever manifests on paper or in your bank account. These small little changes, are the things that are going to compound. They're going to snowball and make the biggest difference. Because when it comes to being intentional with your relationships, do you not think that same thought process is not going to transfer to other parts of your life and other parts of your business, not just your relationships? So every little thing you do, you're going to learn how to be more intentional with it, how to capture it. And like I said, everything that Chris and I have done, I can look back at the mastermind I attended earlier, as fantastic and amazing that it was. When it comes to Jesse doing his part, here's what I would have went back and did a little bit differently, just to be a little bit more intentional and lead with more value. So I just wanted to give you guys that to leave you guys off. Do you guys have any questions for Chris and I, or Chris, anything else you would like to add?
No, I think you brought it on home. And the only thing I just want to touch on, if you guys forget anything that happened today, just always remember, never take advice from someone who you're not willing to never switch places with.
Dude, Mario, I love you, bro. Mario is one of those relationships. Chris and I have had a handful, but Mario is freaking amazing. We love Mario.
Phenomenal.
Thank you for being a leader. He has if you guys are not being consistent in what you guys are doing every single day, especially with this challenge. And now that we're diving into multifamily and putting together teams and all that kind of stuff, Mario is an amazing leader. He's a phenomenal human being. I love him. And he is one of those relationships. So Mario, we
100%.
appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
100%.
Thank you. Make sure you guys are attending, Mario's Zooms and building those relationships with him and bringing and leading with value and networking within those meetings as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys. And lastly, before we go, please, just in the spirit of Christmas, of abundance, of complete and utter gratitude, please go post in the creative group. Go give Pace and Carly a big effing thank you.
Yeah.
For putting this on. This is absolutely phenomenal. You are not entitled to any of this. And it's amazing and they're doing all of this for free. They've set all this up and put all this together so we can all come together and make money and to serve each other and to grow together. So please, I beg you, as soon as we get off right now, go give Pace and Carly a big thank you for putting this together. We appreciate them. We love them. And we love you guys. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to spend some time. Hopefully you guys got some perspective and some things to think about and some items to go take action on next week. And like I said, next week is going to be freaking awesome. We'll probably designate a lot more time next week for going over goal setting and hitting 2023 super hard.
Super excited about that. Goal setting, that's going to be a big one. I know that so much we can talk about there, but I know for a fact you guys are going to be pretty shocked at what we have in store. Super excited about it. But again, guys, we'll be here next week. Christmas Eve, 1:30 sharp. We'll be here 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please remember that, not Mountain, not Alaska time. Alaska don't have a time, but Eastern Standard Time. Definitely appreciate you, guys. And again, Jesse, love you, man. Appreciate all you do as well within our company.
Love you, brother. Thank you.
And definitely, guys, reach out if you have any questions, concerns, whatever that may look like. And again, please, just respect yourself, respect your time, and respect others. That is it.